afternoon, good evening, good morning, folks. Jamal Always Judge Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Folks, today is Thanksgiving Day's Eve for us here in America. It's time for a little gobble gobble, a little turkey, winter dinner, turkey dinner. Shout out to my family and friends out there. Hope you enjoy your Thanksgiving. Shout out to also my followers and subscribers. I appreciate y'all, folks. So, folks, we have here is an amazing lady who just got her shot to the 2025 Olympia about a couple weeks ago, and she competes in fitness. As you know, fitness has been around for quite some time. It is one of, I think, the second oldest divisions for women in bodybuilding. She is actually my fourth fitness competitor. Wow, I mean, I've interviewed a couple ladies here and there. One lady she knows most definitely is the lovely Miss Stephanie Jones, who's been to Olympia multiple times. A young uppercomer by Niamina Famina, and also a lady I know, Mandy Polk, who's now in Mayfighter. But it's a great opportunity to talk to ladies in sport. And she's from our country for the north, our neighbor for the north, Canada. Oh Canada, my home sweet Canada. Yeah, and as you know, one of my monikers is I am a player. Internationally, from the Himalayas. That's my man Jerome. I gotta pull him out because anytime I get a chance to talk to a lady out of the country, straight out of America, I had to bring him out. I gotta bring out Jerome. He's an international player from the Himalayas. So I'd like to welcome the lovely Miss Jessica Zehr, if I got your name right.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Not a problem. Man, one of my favorite heroes is Batman. My Batman always told me prep time, learn to study. That's why I'm wearing my Batman shirt. So anyway, folks, Jessica, she, like I said again, just got a qualification at the Ben Weider Natural Show, and we're going to talk to her about what got her started, her plans now that she's going to Olympia, and how she feels, how the sport has evolved ever since she's been competing. So, ma'am, welcome. Thank you for your time. And this is the first question I ask you, ladies: what got you started in sport, as I call it, muscle and masculinity? Appreciate it.
Yeah, I always had an interest in it, and I had a friend, Sarah. She became an IFBB pro, and I was watching her journey, and it was something that was a seed in the back of my mind. And I went back to school for firefighting, and then once I finished schooling, went out to Alberta, and I thought about doing a show then, and then I was hired down back here near home for full-time firefighter position. So I came back home. Then I'll just focus on that in my career. And then after a year on the fire department, I thought, this would be, something fun to do. Let's try it out. So I called my girl Sarah up, and she always thought, like, you'd be great at this. I went and did my first show with her as my coach, and I ended up winning first place, and that got me hooked. So that first show was actually in figure. But while I was there, I saw the fitness, and I love dance. I've grown up dancing, so I knew I wanted to try that category as well. So then, the next show I did in fitness, and then I was in love with both of the categories. But that's kind of how I just all of a sudden fell into it, but also fell in love with it like very quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the thing. It's about fitness kind of spawned off women's bodybuilding for those women that didn't want to get bigger. They want to have a more feminine aesthetic to it. Mm-hmm. And figure spawned off from fitness because a lot of ladies want to do is jump around chicken sweat. So, but this is, like I said, fitness is a tough division. You have to not only present a great physique, but also have a great skill set. Like I said, you had a dance background. So how long was that when you started dancing?
So I've loved dancing my whole life. I started when I was like 4 or 5 years old, and I did it on and off my entire life. I was on season 2, so you can dance Canada. Some of my shows that I've done, like Brooklyn, New York. So I was pretty competitive with dance, but I'd never done the gymnastic side, and I'd never done anything like handstands. So it was in my 30s that I actually started learning gymnastics. So all the stuff that you see, like where I'm doing handstands and dropping down into the cross, that's all things that I've learned in my 30s. So that's why I always tell women, this is something you can possibly learn and pick up. And the mandatory moves, there's 4 mandatory moves in fitness. And with some flexibility and some strength training, you could definitely, in a year or so, get those 4 mandatory moves.
Yeah, it's a process, especially you're doing it like in your 30s. And it's one thing when you're young, you're a lot more flexible, you can move around. But then, like I said, I just turned 50 last week, and my bones are getting to the point where
Happy
it's not like,
birthday!
yeah.
Plateau.
Yeah, man. It just, yeah. Sometimes I just, but yeah, it's another day above ground. It's good. But yeah, it's just that, training and working out and trying to do those moves. Like like sometimes I see some of y'all win, like, it's really, y'all really just like, wow. Y'all just, like, especially someone like Missy Trescott. That's a good example. How she
Mhm.
moves, she flips, and Erica Deer, and so many other women in
And you can see
fitness.
with her too, like it's the balancing the muscle and the flexibility. That is like as you gain more muscle, it's harder to stay flexible. So you have to increase your flexibility training. But it's a really good benefit because the more flexible you are, then the more your fascia tissue can stretch. So the more muscle growth you can actually get out of your muscle belly. So doing the two together, sometimes it takes longer to build muscle, but it's more functional. And that's one of the things that I love about the sport. And you'll see like women like Oksana, right? She's 46 and she just had her first child and she's in great health. So a lot of the women that get to Olympia, I see it's happening like later in the 30s and into the 40s that they're going to Olympia, doing the shows. Um, and I think that's phenomenal because, where can you get that kind of competition, at this age and this level? And it's such a fun atmosphere, but we also really challenge each other. So I'll probably keep doing this because I love it. And it's, yeah, an amazing workout.
Yeah, but also there's a thing of injuries. You remember during the it was a 2020, it was a 2023 Olympia where Missy broke her, knee. Whitney Jones, she had did something to her shoulder. Saw that Erica Deer had to drop out this year because of injuries. I
Yeah.
mean, even I remember Jody Boom. She did it for a
Yeah.
minute. She switched out, was doing physique and figure at one point. Even got a couple of qualifications to do physique, and now she's sidelined because she's pregnant again. Is that a
Yeah.
concern, especially for yourself, where like you might do a turn or a twist and something like like
Well, I think like when you get to a certain body fat percentage, you can feel it in your bones. You're just a lot drier. Like everything hits a lot harder. When I find like a more off season, if you roll your ankle, you're fine. But if you roll your ankle like when you are in peak week, like that could be a fracture. So it's just the state kind of where your body's at. I find like injury is more prone to happen the as you get closer to show. And you've kind of started to see like sometimes in the fitness category, a bunch of girls will sign up the last week before a show. And that's because some of them are dealing with injuries and they're not sure if they can perform or not. But see, all these women that you're just talking about, we all love the sport so much, and it's hard to switch off that switch to not want to push. So then, we're pushing to, do that flip or do that handstand hold, and then, it kind of just it can happen so easily, right? Like you can be jumping on a trampoline and your foot just come down the wrong way, and then, and that's where it's like, okay, you have to be careful because it can happen, and then everything you worked for is just like gone like that.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's one of the things you got to be careful of. We have here some guests come here. We have one, Brigitta Bouchard. She says, "When will this live event begin?" Okay,
It
and
has begun.
he says,
I
yeah.
know Bridget.
She says, woo. Yeah, congratulations. She says, also well deserved. We
Thank
have here
you.
my man Vinny K. Vinny. He says, "Congrats to your victory. I still miss your footloose routine." You
Oh,
know,
thank you, Vinny.
and also we have my man Lawrence Perkins says, "Good evening, Jessica, George, and everyone on the chat." And Bridget is laughing.
Nice.
Yeah. And like I said, this is, bodybuilding, has evolved over years. If you look
Mhm.
at it, like, is anybody that you particularly follow in the sport that you are a fan of?
Well, I've always stuck to the fitness girls because they're the category they love. Um, I also follow some of the males, right? And I'm obsessed with Chris Bumstead's drink. But I was following Oksana for a long time. And then when COVID hit, I was actually doing some online stuff with her, some online classes to stay fit. I followed Whitney Jones for quite a while. And then I ended up flying out to Arizona and working with her. That was a really great time. And they're like just super sweet souls. So I'm really excited because these were the people that I looked up to and people that were mentors and that I was just in awe of. And to think now, like in going into October 2025 in Vegas, I'm going to be competing on the same stage with them. Like it feels so amazing. And I'm so excited because I love performing and I know they love performing. And it's going to be such a great time. And the level of competition, it just takes you to that next level. So I always feel that, if you want to push yourself and you want to grow, you got to move to a bigger pond. And now I'm at the biggest pond possible.
Yeah, the Olympia is the biggest event in the sport of bodybuilding. I mean, next to that is your Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic. There's quite a few other shows, and it's a great opportunity for anybody who get the qualification, especially that you're competing as a natural competitor. And that's the one thing, in the IFBB, natural is kind of get a slow beginning,
Yeah. Yeah.
and what was your decision to go natural compared to some other competitors?
I just, I like my body. I've always been into natural health. So I was like never putting anything into my body. Like I was, I thought I was celiac, so I wasn't even doing dairy and wheat. So I was just already like very mindful, and I just wanted to see what I could do with my body and how I could biohack it just naturally with like organic food, whole foods, just like what the earth has given us. So that was kind of like my mindset going into bodybuilding, and I decided to compete in the natural stream and I was doing well in the natural stream and comparing myself to the open stream. I was like, okay, the girls in the open stream, their legs are twice the size. And I would definitely have to get on something if I wanted to compete with that. And I just, decided I wanted to keep going the natural route. And then Ben Weeder show. I'm glad we still have that natural pro show where we can do that.
Mhm. I think also I saw that recently that they're planning on to have a natural pro qualifier at the Pittsburgh Pro, because they're going to become a new extravaganza to that,
Yeah.
and you think you want to see more promoters maybe open up opportunities for national competitors? Because I interviewed a lady who competed at that show before, Samantha Emery. You're my second natural bodybuilder from Canada I have on here, and
Sweet.
and also I've interviewed somebody who competes in other organizations like OCB, where it's natural. You feel like you want to see more opportunities for natural competitors in the IFBB?
I definitely think there is the interest for it, and I would love to see more natural shows. I know there's been like thoughts out there of having a natural Olympia, and I think that would draw a lot of people. I'm not against, people who use performing enhancing drugs. Like I think everything has a time and a place, but everyone having the option of which stream they want to go, if they want to go the natural stream or the open stream, and be able to compete in those streams, the more natural shows that come, I think you're going to see more natural athletes come. And I think then that natural Olympia could get really big.
Well, like I said, it's possible, but like I said, it's just the the community of bodybuilding has been always traditionally everybody uses performance enhancers. Especially, and one thing people think about when you look at bodybuilders is that they believe that, oh, all I need to take some steroids, I get bigger, bigger. No, no, no. Even as yourself as a natural competitor, you still have to diet, have to work out, you have to
Yeah.
train, you have to have a plan,
And
and it's
even
just
even if you're taking like performance enhancing drugs, you can't just take performance enhancing drugs and then show up on stage. You still have to work hard, right? So those athletes are still grinding. They're still putting in the work. Like I've seen many people at the gym who I know are on performance enhancing drugs, but their diet's shit, so they still don't get the results. So whatever route you go, you still got to be disciplined with the diet. Performance enhancing drugs will help, but ultimately, discipline is the ultimate indicator of whether you're going to be successful or not.
That's true. Here we have a comment from Brigitte. She says, explain footloose routine. So,
That was a routine I did a couple of years ago. And the Footloose routine, it was during COVID. And I actually still have the paper. The paper came out and it was like you weren't allowed to dance. If you guys remember that. Like here in Canada, I don't know about the States, but when everything was closed down, like they actually banned us getting together and being social and they banned dancing. So like dance classes were canceled. So I was like, I am literally living right now in the movie Footloose. If you haven't seen the movie Footloose, it's one of my favorites.
I,
So
yeah,
you have?
yes, yeah, I
Yeah.
seen a long time ago. See, remember, I'm 50 years old, so I've
Yeah.
seen that movie. So,
Yeah. So
Kevin
Canada
Bacon.
was a lot more locked down than the States was. Like they just really went hardcore. And so yeah, during that time, I was like, you know what, my next routine is going to be Footloose. And yeah, that's what I ended up after we could compete again and the borders opened up. That was what my next routine was, kind of like base it on the Footloose theme.
Well, during the pandemic, my mother, she had gotten the virus and she passed away from it. And here
Sorry to
it
hear that.
was, and the thing was, we had a leader that was not very intelligent when it comes to shit like that. He was not prepared. I'm not gonna get to that detail on that, on him. But yeah, I can understand that it was tough, during that time. But the thing is, when things like this happens, sometimes people have to understand it's important to try to safety, and not just the individual, but the whole of the people.
Yeah.
Sometimes, things like that, war and pandemics is when sometimes you got to put your own personal freedoms aside for safety of everybody else around you. So, folks, what we're gonna do here while we have Jessica talking with her, we're gonna jump in her social media for a bit. You want to follow her. Her links are in the description of the live stream. You can check her out. You can follow her, subscribe to her, support her. And guys, and Jessica, I say this because there's a warning out there. There's guys out there. They see buff chicks like you, and they don't care. Guys, no D pics. Stop it.
I just
Get some,
ignore them.
get some help. I know it is annoying, and you're just laughing too. Yes, I'm for your one. So we're gonna jump to social media for a little bit here. And here we have some posts here. This is your performance from the Ben Weeder Natural.
Yes.
So, what was that feeling when they
So
told
that
you?
uh
When they
it
told
was
you?
it was surreal. Like I was standing there thinking, like, did they just call my name? Is that me? And I'm like, oh yeah, that's me. And yeah, I was just happy. And it really didn't like fully sink in on stage. It was really like when I got off stage. I was also trying to fight back tears because after I did my routine round, I came off and I was very happy with that routine round that I did. And I just knew no matter what, I was happy with the performance that I brought that day. But then to get the win and get the qualification for Olympia was just the icing on the cake, and to be crowned was definitely a moment that I've been working towards for basically 8 years now. Because I started bodybuilding when I was in 2016, got my pro card in 2019, and yeah, now have qualified for Olympia in 2024. So this here that you're watching, that is my posing routine, the bikini round, and that's worth 1/3 of our mark. And then the fitness routine round is worth 2/3 of the mark.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That's what it is because it's still you have to present yourself. Here's your other competitors here. There was I think there was like at least 7, 8 ladies for this show.
Yeah,
You
we
know,
started with 10, and the one girl didn't do her routine. So we had 9 girls in the routine round and 10 girls in the bikini round.
all right, these are, like I said, y'all ladies look amazing. I mean, I'm spanning more into your division. There's also Mina, what's the face? I
Yeah,
forgot her name.
you know,
She's
Polly.
also, yeah, she's
She
been to
was
the
so
Olympia Marathon.
sweet. And like I just met her for the first time in person, but she's another woman that I followed. And she came up to me afterwards and she's like, I loved your routine. I loved how you had like a theme to it and a story to it. So when people come and tell me that, I'm, very happy. And even when I had people that were sitting in the crowd said they really enjoyed it, because I love performing, I love entertaining, and to hear them say that, I know I did what I set out to do. So it's just a confirmation.
Hmm. And who are these two gentlemen here?
So on the left is Aaron Gully, and he is who I was working with. I'm going to work with him again going to the Olympia. He's married to Emily there, and Emily just recently also qualified for the this Olympia. She was in the wellness here 2023 at Olympia. That was her first Olympia, and we were just going to the same gym. And I finally reached out to him, and I was like, "Okay, what's your leg program?" Because I saw Emily's legs. We started working together. His meal plan just kept me really strong throughout my meal, like whole prep. And definitely this prep, I felt one of the strongest I've ever felt. So I'm really excited to be working with him now over the next year.
Hmm. And like I said, what was your previous coach you were working with? Who was he, and how long y'all were together?
So I've worked with many different coaches actually over the years. I haven't really stayed with one person just because I like diversity. I like learning from different people. So I started out with Sarah Fennel with Figure. I've worked with Mindy O'Brien. I've worked with Danielle Rubin. I've worked with Whitney Jones. I've done some stuff with Oksana Grishina, and sure there's some others in there that I'm missing. I'm leaving out, but yeah, that's for me. Typically, I'll stay with a coach for a year or so, and then sometimes I'll try out a different coach. Just because I like to see different approaches, I like to see different diet plans, different ways of approaching the body. And I'm always trying to switch it up and see how the body responds.
Hmm. So you're like a Ronin. You're traveling, try to get your education from different aspects and different people, and that does
Yeah.
work. I mean, some people they have traditionally some people like to stick with a coach and
Mhm.
stick with that coach until either they feel like they want to maybe move in a different direction, or they feel like that coach is not helping them going as far as they feel like they need to.
Yeah, like all of the coaches, like they have had different parts of my life, right? From, the coach that I had and, winning and becoming a pro. And so I think as you grow in different stages, people have different strengths. And then when you're looking for a certain strength and then you see it in a certain person, you go and seek that out. And that's kind of just, I knew I wanted to put size on my legs and I'd seen Emily's legs at the gym and I saw how she grew. So I was like, okay, she's doing something. She's got it figured out. Like her and her husband, I'm gonna, ask them, hey, can I have your leg program?
Yeah. So, as you know, a lot of people get feedback from the judges. What did the judges tell you that you needed to improve, especially you're heading off into the Olympia?
Yeah, so I actually will get my feedback from the recent show soon. Earlier in July, I competed at the Vancouver Pro Show, and I got in some feedback from that show, and then that feedback I implemented at this show. So it's really helpful when you do get that feedback. Just after the show, I was, they hauled me off the stage right away to go take the drug test. So I was busy doing that. And then by the time the show ended, like I didn't get a chance to talk to the judges, but my coach is going to reach out to them and get that feedback so that I know what to improve for Olympia. I already know the things that I need to work on for Olympia, like some of my self critiques, like my lines could have been straighter. I've seen my lines straighter just in different like splits and my crocodile, things like that. And I also know it's because my joints kind of had cooled down, weren't as warm, weren't as stretched out. So things like that, I know what to do and how to. And I'm actually today was doing strength and conditioning and just like working on my lines at gymnastics today. So those are things that I'll improve. Going to try to put on some more size, my back, my legs, and work on some new skills so I can bring some new skills to my 2025 Olympia routine.
Yeah, like I said, it's a process with bodybuilding from what I learned. It's not like it's a race, it's a marathon. It's about the
Yeah,
time you take to build and work on the things. I
100%.
mean, what do you feel is physically your best? What really your best feature is if you look yourself in the mirror and say, damn, that's looking good.
Same. I get comments on my glutes, on my arms, and my back. I would say the most. So those I'd say are my top three. Just depends what type of person you are. What if you like an arm person? I get a lot of comments on my shoulders. I think just because I've got like the nice roundness. I've got a lot of symmetry, and like what they're looking for, right, is that small waist, the upside down triangle, like Dorito. So the wide back drawing into a smaller waist, and then a full glute and some full rounded shoulders. I'm very happy with how well balanced my body is. So now it's just about, putting some density in the muscles and just filling it out more.
Hmm. Yeah, with figure, I think because I mean, sorry, fitness, it has the same parameters like with about like figure, but
Yeah.
except for the fact that you have the routine, and you said that the routine part is only like a third of your points when it comes to your judging, and it's the physique part is the which one's the again the.
So the bikini round where I'm in the sparkly bikini, that's worth one third, and the
Mhm.
routine round is worth two thirds. So there's actually more emphasis on your skills than there is actually on your body. But it does play a big role in it too. Like overall, the points will add up. And part of that is it's allowing more competitors to come into the sport that have a dance and gymnastic background. Because usually you'll find if you've had a long gymnastic dance background, you're usually smaller because it's easier to jump around, to do flips. The more muscle you have, it's actually harder to do these skills. Just muscle in its density, and you are a little bit heavier. The lighter and smaller you are, the easier it is to do these skills. So that's why it's an anomaly when you see people like, Missy, who has such like muscle density, but also has like such gymnastic skills. Sometimes you'll see people who have really good gymnastic skills, but they're small. Then you'll see someone who has a lot of muscle, but they don't really have that many skills. Whereas like in fitness, they're really looking for that all around. They want you to have have it all.
Hmm. You mentioned Missy again. As you know, Missy is the current fitness champion. She took her after her injury. She came back, and there's she's I think she's on some kind of I don't know if she's thinking of doing it, but it looks like she's considering making a move to figure. Have
Ooh,
you? Yeah, because if I if I look at it now, if you look at how even the women figure and in physique and the divisions are really starting to change,
yeah,
where you're seeing some women even getting those more size, more definition. I think one thing I think the judges critique would tell like where they tell you like, oh, we need you to be full, we need to be bigger. But like in your division, you don't need that much size because the fact is it can halt your movement, especially if you're going to do jumps and flips. You might get more power out of them because you have the muscle, but still you're not as flexible.
correct. Yeah. And that's the thing. I think there's only so much, like your body naturally doesn't want to do backflips. Like that's not a natural thing for humans. So what we're doing with our bodies, like there is an age where the body's like, okay, like let's just like chill out for a bit. So I think you'll see fitness girls move into that figure because they have a passion for like for the bodybuilding world, and then they can still do that. But then, as they age, maintain their bones and not break them.
Hmm. Yeah, I think it's one lady who is also fellow Canadian. I think she's also a Masters Olympic qualified athlete. That's Tamara Vaughn.
Yeah, come
And
on.
yeah,
Yep.
and she's still maintaining. I know why, but she had a little incident at the last Arnold, you know, and I follow her. I think she has amazing physique, a great look to her.
Oh,
Maybe I
Jameir's
think,
great.
yeah, maybe it's a debate that maybe it's time for her to maybe move over the figure. I mean,
Well,
but
and actually, I was talking with Tamara at Vancouver Pro, and she's like 10, 11 years older than me, which for me is really inspiring because I'm like, okay, so, there's possibility for me to do this for another 10 years. Now, we were talking about training and how she has actually changed her training just because with, an aging body, what's nice is you get a lot more muscular maturity. So you get like more definition, more lines, but then as well, you don't spring like you sprung when you were in your 20s. So the warm ups have to be different. How you approach things have to be different. It takes you longer to warm up. like in your 20s, you could just like drop into it. You could just kick and drop into a split and not have to be warm at all. Now, every girl backstage, we're like, can we have like 30 minutes to warm up before we do our 2-minute routine? Because otherwise, like our bones are just you're gonna hear them cracking.
Yeah. You'd be like, I'm just making sure.
Yeah.
Let's,
But it
feel the
honestly makes
gurney.
a huge difference. Like when I'm warm, my legs are straighter, my lines are cleaner compared to when I'm not warm. Like it's just the little things, right? Sometimes like the one toe, after doing ballet for so many years, like it may not be pointing, like one foot might be flexed. And so those are the things that, yeah, as you age, you do have to increase your warm up time.
Mhm. And you got your pro card in 2019. What was that feeling like? What was the show that you got your pro card at?
When I first started, that was the goal. That was the dream to get my pro card. And part of me was like, oh, I'll probably just get my pro card and stop there. And that for me was so exciting. Like I just wholeheartedly was just after that and pursued it. Um, and then I got that at the natural show. And then I was like, okay, so now what? And then I went and did the Ben Weeder show, and I placed second at my pro debut, and that was in Montreal. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to try to get to Olympia. Like, let's do this. And then COVID happened, so I was off for those 2 years, and then came back in 2022. I was actually planning on doing a guest performance at Fidel's show, and it was like a week before when they shut everything down in Canada. So I was a week out and had leaned down, was all ready to go when everything got canceled and shut down. And so that show also got canceled. So, and that's like hard on your body, right? To get down to that state. Like, it's not an easy task. So that's why I was worried as shows were being canceled. I didn't want to keep doing that to my body. So I kind of gave that 2 years for my body to rest and build and work on my skills. And then came back in 2022.
Yeah. Like I said, the thing, the most important thing about is that your body's the one thing you only have. It's you have to take care of it, especially when you do a very competitive sport like fitness.
Mhm.
And sometimes you have to make a decision which is more important. You want to compete or you want to maybe have longevity in the sport. Like one thing I know, especially I would say for the women, is the cost. Because I think for y'all ladies, especially in fitness, there's more of a higher cost. If I keep saying this, all the guys in the open divisions, like men's classic, men's physique, 212, men's open, all the guy would do is wear a pair of banana hammocks and board shorts.
Yeah.
You ladies, especially y'all fitness ladies, you have to have your designers, your suits, your posing suits. You have to have your props
Yeah.
for your performance, and also throw in something like hair, makeup, jewelry.
Can
Yeah,
all the
the
things. I think
tan.
your gymnastic coaches, your handstand coaches, those are also things that you're working with leading up to, those memberships on top of your regular gym membership.
Mhm. And then, like I said, you're a coach training yourself. So how long you been doing that?
So I started, I would say, 2018. And then basically when I became a pro, I really started getting into it more. I was working like part time at the gym. Like I work full time as a firefighter, but then on my days off, I would be training people at the gym. And then I started doing online meal plans. Uh, During the lockdowns and COVID, I was doing a lot of online meal plans and online workout plans, and and fun fitness online challenges. So I really had enjoyed that during that time. And then now I'm just more focused. I don't do as much personal training other people because I'm just focused on myself right now and working on my skills and thinking, okay, what is my next theme going to be? What's my next routine going to be? So I just want to put all my focus right now into what I'm going to bring to Olympia and focus on myself and all my self care because this is something that I've wanted for a long time. So I want to make sure that I don't get pulled in other directions. Sometimes you can get distracted, but I'll definitely be returning back to doing plans for people. Just right now, I think this year I'll be more focused on my routine.
Yes, the thing is that this is like I said, this sport takes a lot of time, money. It's physical, it's emotional. I
Yeah.
mean, especially in your division, you have to be a lot more physical compared to the others. And I
Mhm.
know there's days where like we get up in the morning. Yeah, what's your routine like? Like I know there's days like you get up in there, what I gotta go to do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do that. What's it like for you? Getting ready as a competitor. Hello, hello. I think, folks, we might have lost her. Let me see. Hello. I think we have a technical difficulty. Let me, folks. I don't know what's going on. Let me. I'm gonna have to see. Be right back, folks. I am going to step out for a minute. Well, folks, we had a little technical difficulty.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. I don't
I
know.
don't know. It's stuff that happens sometimes, but this is why I enjoy doing live. It's unpredictable. You never know what happens. So,
What was the last thing you heard?
um, I I forgot. I think you were talking. I asked you. What was I asking you? What was it? So let's move on to something else. Because I
Okay.
was saying, like
My
how,
routine in the morning. You had
yeah,
asked me
your
about
routine
my
in the
morning.
morning. How you like? What's your routine like in the morning for you when you get ready and get your for the start your day?
I'll get up. If I like to have baths or warm showers. So that's just sometimes because I'm cold and like especially now, I just find it easier.
Uh-oh. What's going on, folks?
I'll cook
Uh,
breakfast. Typically, I do gymnastics. Uh, oh, you still there? Okay. And
I say
then
that.
in the afternoon is when I hit my weight workout. I like to have more food in my body when I do weight, just so I can lift heavier. Um, like sometimes I will do fasted, but most of the time I do it after I've had like a good amount of food in my body so I can lift heavier.
Hmm. And we work it out. What's your favorite workout and your least favorite workout? Because I know there's some workouts that, yes, I love doing that one. The other one say, damn, I don't want to.
Yeah. I would say back is my favorite. That's and then I've really started to enjoy legs now. Before I wasn't. You see, like what? I know legs is always one of those days where like, oh, it's leg day, So, but I've started to enjoy it more. But my favorite is back. Whenever it's back day, I'm like, yes.
I think with the figure in fitness women and I think bikini girls, they like to work on back because that's well, with bikini you can't see the back as well, but because those two divisions, it's more focused on the upper body than it is everything else, and you want those wide shoulders, those round cap belts,
Yeah.
and leg day. Jessica, I'm gonna tell you this: you're probably the fifth or sixth person to say love leg day. You are a mutant.
Hmm. I'm on
And
what?
like I said, you're a mutant. You're an
Okay.
X-Man. Because
Okay.
I know. Like anytime, if you when I ask somebody, what's your favorite, least favorite workout, the least is always going to be leg day because it's like I remember my favorite episode of Chappelle's Show where Charlie Murphy meets Rick James, and Rick and Charlie goes back to Eddie's house, and then Rick is like on Eddie's couch, says, "F your couch, Eddie Murphy, F your couch," and Charlie and Eddie are beating his legs. And that's like for bodybuilder getting your legs beat by Charlie
Yeah.
Murphy and Eddie Murphy. I mean, it's tough, but for you have to make those improvements,
Yeah.
especially as an athlete in the sport. You have to work on the things that you need to work on the most to make better improvements, and still
Yeah.
work on the things that that you don't need to work on too much because the fact is you want to be that overall athlete.
Yeah. And I do find legs is harder because as you put muscle on the legs, then you notice your flexibility. So then you got to work more flexibility. Whereas when you're not lifting as much with your legs, your flexibility is better. Just because the muscles get tight, right? When you're trying to build muscle in your legs and you're working them twice a week, um, it's a lot. Like they have a couple days to recover, and then you hit them again, and then you need a couple days to recover. So they tend to feel tight. And getting that good stretch in will really help a lot with the flexibility. But if you don't stretch up, then you're just gonna be tight and you're not gonna get into your splits.
Yeah. So, as you're done, you're now officially Olympic competitor. You go into the O, and it's like I said, it's a big show. So, but this is one question I have to ask you, ladies, every time, especially after the shows. You're on that diet, you're prepping, then you get a chance to break loose.
Hmm.
Tell us, Jessica, share with us, what's that
So,
thing that you
would you like
desire the
would you like
most?
to see some pictures of what I ate post show?
Go ahead,
Um,
show
I so the night Friday night I ended up going for a steak at the Alexandria Hilton. It was such a good steak. I'm a foodie, I really am. So I do my research. Like I vetted different restaurants. Like I look, okay, I want like 4.5, 5 star. Like I will get angry if I have a cheat meal and it's a shitty cheat meal. So I was like, I do. I'm like that burger was not worth it. Or like
I'm going,
that
shit.
yeah, like, oh, I thought that was a waste of calories. Like, you won't find me like at Tim Hortons getting a donut. Like, you would find me at, for example, I went to this place in Alexandria and it's called Lakma, and it was dough and then it was battered with chocolate on it. So that, and they were like the size of Timbits, but like that is like an experience, right? And it was absolutely delicious. So, when it comes to food, I definitely am a little bit of a food snob, I would say, and a coffee snob maybe too. I like quality and I like to go to a place where I'm like, okay, that felt like it was worth it. So that night I had the steak. The next day I went out for breakfast and I had avocado toast. I was dreaming. I know it's ridiculous, but I had a dream about butter on toast when like in prep, like leaving, like it was like 2 weeks out for my show, and I was just craving. I sometimes have weird cravings. I was just craving toast with butter on it. And that morning for breakfast, I had some of that. So, and the cravings are always different. Like sometimes it's chicken wings, but my favorite go to is burger. I love just a good burger. Top three burgers. The one that's in Vegas, actually, at Gordon Ramsay's restaurant. That's one of the best burgers I've had. There's a really good burger in Costa Rica with pineapple on it. And another one of my favorite burgers is in it's on the Vancouver Island in British Columbia in East Soup. That's also one of my favorite burgers. So it's kind of my thing. I like to source out really good quality burgers, and yeah, I've got my top five around the world.
Yeah, I know. Like doing this content, quite a few bodybuilders are foodies, but I know some. I interviewed one lady. She also has to deal with because she has a history of food addiction and disorder. But that's the thing is that food is an important part to a growth of any bodybuilder, be it
Yeah,
being fitness, being figure, being whatever division, and it's those right foods that help you. I mean, not you can't always eat the things that you love to eat, like a nice burger. I know one thing I think the staple of everybody in diet is always chicken or broccoli or rice.
100%.
I
Yeah,
mean, that's
yeah,
but it's those foods that help you grow because you want those clean, healthy foods. We
100%.
all love, like I said, I was out earlier this afternoon. I got myself some chicken from Popeyes and some mac and cheese, and that tastes good. I mean, have some French fries on the side, and I'll tell you about myself. I was at 500 pounds about 5 years ago.
Okay.
And after my mom passed,
I'm
I said, you
sorry.
know what? Now it's me take time for me to take care of time for me to take care of myself. So I'll take
Yeah,
care of her. And being a big man like myself, food is both a weapon and a tool, especially in your
mhm,
process as you're trying to lose
yeah,
weight or try also to grow and develop.
yeah. And it's definitely like you, I come from a big family too, and I just really at a young age was like, okay, you can go two ways of this, and I focused on allowing my body to get big with muscle. But it's so easy to do because the way the world is right now, we have so much processed food. It's so available to us. Like it's really hard to eat clean now compared to how it used to be. Like it's actually I find getting harder to stay with clean eating. And just like the chemicals that they're putting in food. Like when I'm in prep, I'm no longer just eating chicken from the grocery store. Like I'm sourcing from JW Foods because I know their chicken is also hormone free, right? Like and that's all those little chemicals add up when you're trying to lose weight. So sometimes, people can be eating clean and be frustrated that they're not losing weight. Then you will have to go like even deeper and be like, what is the quality of this chicken? What is the quality of this beef? Because sometimes there's a lot of chemicals and fillers in things, and that could be holding back your weight loss.
Yeah, the thing is, there's a lot of stuff in food now. One thing I did was I did push out processed foods, but every now and then I might have something, because I said, I'm not trying to buy I just want something to eat every now and
Yeah.
then, just something,
Yeah.
something with a taste to it. Here we got my man Vinny. He says,
Steak.
steak. Yeah, steak. One thing I never been much of a steak person, like I said, hamburger's my kind of thing. So,
Mm.
as a competitor, do you feel that there should be some like standards and rules, especially in bodybuilding, where as you see now, there's so many crossover, especially in competitors. Like it's so easy maybe for somebody as a figure competitor to cross over to fitness, physical competitor to cross over to figure. You've seen physique competitors crossover into bodybuilding and some crossover into other divisions. You feel there should be like is to stick to the standards and rules. Like I know we talked to a couple of these other organizations where there's not too many crossover. Everybody's in the division that works for them.
Yeah. I, like if I were to cross over to figure right now, I don't think I would be big enough to compete against the figure girls. So I think you still have to earn your spot. Like as a pro, once you become a pro, like technically I could sign up for a physique show, even though I got my pro card in fitness. But like how I would place among those physique girls, I haven't been training my body in that particular way for the last couple of years. So I would probably not be in the top five, right? So it's very, there are some people who can, kind of go back and forth between two categories. And I was there when I first started because I started with the figure and then I did a fitness show. And then in 2017 for that was when we had the Ontario, the provincials. I did both figure and fitness, and I won first in figure, and I also won first in fitness, and then I won the overall. So it was after that year, 2017, that I was like, hey, I need to decide what route am I going to go. Am I going to go the figure route and try to get my pro card, or am I going to go the fitness route and try to get my pro card? Because for figure, I'm going to be looking at, putting on size and focusing on the physique and putting on muscle mass. For fitness, I'm going to be focusing more on doing gymnastic skills, learning handstands, but also like trying to put on size as well. But just realizing that I'm not going to be able to put on size as fast because the gymnastic skills, like your body naturally wants to be leaner and it wants to be strong, but that muscle is heavy. So I then decided, you know what, I want to go with the fitness route. And in 2018, I kind of started to see that happen. I did do a figure show. I ended up placing sixth in figure in 2018 and second in fitness in 2018. Then in 2019, I placed first in fitness. And I didn't bother doing figure in 2019. I just focused on the fitness. And that was the year that I won my pro card in 2019. So I think like you can kind of cross over, but then you're also taking your attention away, right? When your attention is split in too many categories, I don't think you get the full 100% towards that one category or that one look. So I think some girls sometimes can be in the middle and they're kind of trying to decide, like, okay, well, which route should I go? And at the end of the day, I guess it's personal choice for each person.
That's true because you got to find what works for you. I've
Yeah,
seen some ladies that look like they could be better in one division than the other, and then sometimes it's about the process, about
yeah,
develop your body. Maybe sometimes like you see some ladies take a couple of years off before they make their pro debut because they
yeah,
feel like, okay, I need to work on this, because first they get the critique from the judges, and what works for one person may not work for the other
yeah.
because everybody's different. Everybody's like, if you like I said, you look at someone like Ariel, you look at someone like good example is Jessica Rhea Padilla. You look at those two, they
Hmm,
look like they
hmm.
could be the same division, but they're totally different. If you
Yeah,
look at Sarah Vilgus and compare her to someone like
yeah.
Angela
Well,
Yo,
and even my friend Taylor, she got her pro card in fitness, and then she took a couple of years off, and then she came back, and her skills are top notch in the fitness. Like she can do some crazy stuff. And then last year she placed second at Olympia, and this year she placed third at Olympia in the fitness category. Because her gymnastic skills, like she's been doing it since she was 4 years old, or she can do some crazy, crazy stuff. Like it's truly impressive. And it's cool. She's only an hour away. So
and Tilly talk about Taylor Mont, or they call her Tiny T, a little T, I think
yeah,
call her
yeah, a
Tiny.
little T. Yeah, a little T.
Little T, but impressive. I think she's done pretty good. I mean, she just turned pro maybe barely a year ago,
Well, no,
and
she turned pro a couple of years ago, but then she kind of took some time off and was just like doing a lot of calisthenics, doing a lot of skills. And I kept telling her, I'm like, as soon as you come back, you're gonna kill it because I'd seen the skills that she was learning. And yeah, when she came back, she killed it. And it's funny because even though we technically are competitors, we're also friends. So, and it's actually exciting when I did when she messaged me. She's like, "I'm so excited! We can get to go to Olympia together." So it's yeah, she's an awesome chick.
that's good that this friendship among in the women in your divisions. Sometimes there's some rivalries. Like good examples like Sarah and Natalia. Their rivalries war. It's like a snake and a mongoose.
Yeah.
And some ladies have good competitive rivalry. Friendships are developed, especially when you're back there on the stage with somebody, and you sometimes you have to help them out with something, or like kind of put a little glue on their posters. It won't stick off their butt. You know,
Yeah.
there is so much that's involved in the sport. And
Well,
over
and
time,
people that do it also get it. Like you can talk to them. It's almost like a little mini world in itself. And I think with the fitness girls, like sometimes, like I've gotten together with some of the fitness girls and we've just had some fun doing some fitness stuff. I think it happens more in fitness than it does in the other categories because the other categories people are mostly just going to the gym and doing their own thing. It's more individual. Whereas like gymnastics and calisthenics, there's always like big groups typically that meet up once a month, and you can go to these calisthenic meets, so you kind of start to see, people and run into people and then become friends through that way too.
yeah, it's good bonding. And as a competitor, what do you feel that would you necessarily need to get to that top level?
So I feel working on more of my gymnastic skills. I have a dance background, but I didn't have a gymnastic background. So I definitely want to add some of those in. And again, just having more density, a little more size all around. I like my shape, but adding more to it, and it's really the fine details, right? Like be more flexible. Like I can do the splits, but what if I can do over splits or like get into contortion? So, or looking to be able to do something that no one else can do, inventing a move because you see that happen as well, and then all of a sudden people are like, "Oh my gosh, I want to try that." So those are some of the things that come to my mind.
hmm Yeah, we have here my man KL the Wanderer. Shout out to KL. He also does content on women's bodybuilding. Shout out to my brother. He says, "Hey, what's up? Happy Thanksgiving. Don't eat too much turkey or whatever." Yeah. And also, this is from a man, David Bryant from Female Bodybuilding Forum, also another content creator on women in bodybuilding. It says she's is lovely. I tuned in late. Has she ever suffered any injuries on stage?
Yeah,
So, like remember we had with Missy and
yeah,
with some other
yeah.
competitors. Have you ever had injuries when you were competing on a stage?
So I haven't had any injuries on stage, but I have had an injury training where I had broken my fifth metatarsal in my foot while I was training some gymnastic stuff, and then I've also leading up to the show in July, I had pulled my hamstring, so I was actually working through that injury, and I was worried because up until show day, I wasn't getting into my splits and I was getting like work done by the osteopath. I was going and doing float tanks. Like I was doing everything possible self care wise because I was like, okay, what's my backup plan going to be if I can't get into my splits? Um, I was thankful that it was so hot in July, in Vancouver, because that and the therapy that I did do leading up all that week to the show did allow me to get into my splits at Vancouver Pro. I ended up getting fourth at Vancouver Pro, but yeah, at that performance, I had that wasn't my favorite performance. I liked it; it was good, and it was improved, but I definitely was like, okay, I love this routine, but I know now where I need to make some changes. And then that's what I did and came back and brought those changes to this last competition. And I really worked on that hamstring just to make sure that I was fully healthy. So this time when I hit the stage, like I didn't have that problem or that worry. Because sometimes you hold back, right? When you're suffering an injury, you don't go as big, or and you start to see other girls who you've seen compete before, and when you see their performance, you're like, oh, I think they're holding. Like when someone's holding back. So that's more pray to God that I don't ever have an injury on stage, and that I just keep staying warm and do all the preventative stretches and warm ups. But yeah, I think I will stay strong and keep my warm ups nice and strong so that doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's the thing is that injuries occur, especially in your training. People forget that sometimes that happens. And then the recovery, that's the most important part about it.
Yeah,
But like I
yeah,
said, you are a natural athlete and you know steroids is one factor to recovery. And since you don't take those, it's a lot harder for you compared to some others. Here, we got here from a man, shout out to my man Kia. Says, I seen the Being Weird show, but unfortunately I missed the women's natural, only happened to see the men. All right. Also, this is from my man David from Female Body Forum says, what does she think about Taylor Lamont? She is so dynamic. Well, that's a friend of hers, David.
Oh
They're
yeah,
very
little
good
T.
friends.
I love
Yeah,
little T. She's awesome, and it's
yeah.
so funny because I remember when she had like 1,000 followers, and I told her I'm like, you're gonna blow up, like you're phenomenal, and now she has like 2 million followers. So, and she's definitely one of my friend, but also inspiration, and she's helped me on routines. Like I've worked with her on routines and on skills. She's helped me out with that kind of stuff, and we've hung out and we've done handstands together. So yeah, I would definitely say Taylor's got. I don't the stuff that she can do is just. I haven't seen anyone else do what she can do.
Well, like I said, I think she has a great future, and just like yourself, um, you got to think about it. You might get to um, both beat Olympia, it's still opportunities. And I think the season's about to wear off. The list won't come out till December what show's going to be starting up. She might, I know she got her last qualification at a show in Anaheim, the Grand Prix. No, was it her? Yeah, it was her.
Yeah, well,
Because,
she's already qualified because top three get to go
yeah,
back.
oh, yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
she
Yeah,
may or
top.
may not do a show, but yeah, she already is qualified. So
Yeah,
it's
so she,
cool. So we'll get to go
yeah.
together.
Yeah, top three. So she'll, she can just sit and rest, or she just do the show for the hell of it. Yeah, and, like I said, there's a lot to the sport people don't understand, especially bodybuilding. Like I said earlier, it's a small community, but it's pretty much global. But
Yeah,
people, when they look at it, they're always going to look at thinking about steroids, yeah, 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 yeah. But you're an athlete, and you understand the factor which got you here: the work, the discipline, commitment, sacrifice, so much that's involved to help you
yeah,
get to this next level, even get you to the Olympia.
yeah. And like whether you're natural or not, you still have to put in the work. It's just I think, the natural way just takes longer.
Mhm. Yeah, I know. I was talking with Samantha. How she told me that when she did Pittsburgh this year, she told her she'd be bigger. But the thing is, it's hard to get that size, especially if you're a physique competitor as a natural competitor. I mean, I
Yeah.
think one lady told me it takes at least a year or more just to get on maybe extra 7 pounds
Hmm.
compared to the athletes who are more enhanced,
Yeah.
because, and even still, even if you are eating the right foods and eating like, 6 or 5 times a day, you
Hmm.
know, it's a longer process compared to the others.
Hmm. It's all hormones, right? And how everything's acting together. So,
Hmm. So one thing is I want to ask you, like, are you a sponsored athlete or everything's on your shoulder?
so I don't really have any like JW Foods will sponsor me with food, and I don't. I kind of do my own thing. So I was with Popeyes for a while, and I would get discounts. But it's something that I'm definitely open to. I've just always, had the flexibility. I just go and get my supplements and buy them, and um, I definitely want to look more into it. And you know, so if you're watching this and you want to sponsor me, hit me up.
Yeah, I think sponsorship does help, especially I think again for y'all women, especially for your division, most definitely it's more of a expense compared to the
Yeah,
others. With
yeah,
they said again, the guys got to wear a pair of bananas and boy shorts. But here's the thing about it, Jessica. There's some guys out there. And ain't some guys like say, Jessica, you're a cute little thing. You're doing that flipping around and jumping. So if I do something for you, no, 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 guys, don't do that.
yeah,
Don't do that. What you should do is this is what I would love to see some people do, especially for y'all women. Approach you like this, Miss Zehr. We like your personality. We like the fact you're a natural competitor. We need to see that more in bodybuilding. I know it's a healthier look. It's a longer process, but we want to see you to get to that next level. So we're interested in sponsoring you. So if you like the product that we have, it works within your interests, then it works for ours. So we want to see you
Yeah.
grow and hit those levels, and we can't wait to see you make your Lippy debut. So if you're interested, we're happy to sponsor you, man.
Yeah, I would love that. I think a lot of athletes reach out to companies, so I think that's maybe something that I don't know if I always thought they just like found you and reached out to you, but now I'm learning actually a lot of people reach out to them first and kind of get on the radar because there's so many people. So, but if I have, like I said, any sponsors are watching now, definitely reach out because I'm open to trying different things. Like I'm always trying different protein powders and different supplements. So, and if I like something and it's working, I'm going to use it. I'm going to promote it. I'm going to talk about it. So, like naturally, I'm talking about stuff all the time on my Instagram stories, but I'm just not getting paid for it. So, I need to get that affiliate link and start actually getting paid for it.
Yeah, I think that's the thing is I think people out there who follow this sport, because with your division, it's not is because most of my guys who follow me, they're more about the big bulky, the muscle, the rip women. They're a fan of the of women's bodybuilding of women with muscle. But y'all ladies have muscle. Y'all work and
Mhm.
train just as hard. You train twice as hard because you have to do more compared to them. And I think sponsors should reach out to competitors when they see that they have someone with some talent, a good personality. I mean, I know most definitely, I know social media is very important. And the thing is
Yeah.
about social media is that it can be both, a tool and a weapon against a competitor because, people are always making comments, especially like why I become friends with ladies. Most of the ladies have been interviews with mostly women's bodybuilding, physique competitors, some figures here and there. And I'm trying to reach out to some fitness competitors too. But it's always like my man David talked about this shaming of being athletic in bodybuilding. I mean, like there's guys out there who look like me telling say, "Hey, you trying to look like a man," but hey, you
Yeah.
are an athlete,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
should be proud of what you do.
Yeah. And I think like that's one thing that I like how I look. It doesn't bother me. I, work hard to put on muscle, and the fitness girls that I know, like we're working hard to put on the muscle. So if that's their preference, that's their preference. But I don't know, really doesn't bother me what they say. So, and then there's lots of guys who love women with muscles and love women that have big muscles. So they're like, I am their preference, right?
Well, like I said, Dad, you have a great physique. I'll tell you that. But I know my client. I'll tell you my client just go, I'm a muscle person, and I'm like this. I'm just whatever doesn't make you stranger, make you stronger. I mean, And just before I leave you, I want to tell you something. You are
Yeah.
beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm sorry about him. He's just, I mean, I
You
got to
got the
see you.
joke. You got the Joker. Like you can do his voice.
It's not as good compared to some people, but it's been like I always work on the cadence. Like when you talk, you have to make the little clicking sounds. Like because you remember when you played the Joker, he had to wear prosthetics and kind of fix his mouth,
Yeah.
so tell him, like and if you're good at something, Jessica, never do it for free. So yes. This is what man, Brian. He says, if Taylor puts on 50 more pounds of muscle, goes to WBE, then she will be Big T. Just say.
Yeah. I
And
think though,
also,
like 50 pounds of muscle on her, she would lose a lot of her skills.
yeah, yeah. The thing
Right.
is, she
That's
don't need
that's
it.
that's the trade off, right? Like that's the thing. Like she can do all these amazing things, and if she were to pack on 50 pounds of muscle, like a lot of her flexibility and ability to do these like crazy tricks. So I know she loves doing what she does. So
Yeah.
that's like you got to find that balance.
Mm-hmm. Or there's one bodybuilder who's very she has genetic background. She's even a routine. That's Ashley Jones. Tomorrow's Ashley's birthday. Happy pre-birthday to Ashley. There's quite a few bodybuilders who had one point had genetic backgrounds, but then because it said again, put on the muscle, you're not as flexible. You can't move as well.
Yeah.
Here, this is from my man. He's a hater. He's saying this is my man. He's saying it says killing the moment with the Joker. Don't be a hater. Be congratulator. So he's a hater. And also he says, he says this. He says she's athletic. Yeah, yeah. It's like I say, you have to be athletic because when people like myself, when we go to the shows, and we see all these on stage. we see these pumped, ripped, muscular, fit women, and there's an
Mhm.
old smoke saying says, well, like I said, when you ladies rock hard, we'll rock hard. But we understand that you to get there, you have to make like a sacrifices,
Yeah.
time, money.
Yeah.
You're on there, you're tired, you're dehydrated, so much involved in this. Would you, if somebody could approach you, say, you know what, Jessica, I want to be a bodybuilder, I want to compete. What advice would you give them?
So first, I would, comparing their frame, right? Some people have the frame for figure, some people have for bikini. So first, it's like, okay, what kind of frame do they have, and what do they naturally have? So now the whole wellness category is out. If they have like bigger, thicker legs, then like wellness is going to more suit them. If they're more like model skinny, then bikini is going to more suit them, right? For figures, more a bit of the upper body, and fitness is with the skills. So first, I think doing a show, like one show, really teaches a person about their body and how to biohack their body. Because you learn so much about food, and you really also get an appreciation for food, especially when you're hungry. Because in prep, you will have those days where you're hungry, and you really are like you become thankful as well for food when you're hungry for food. It's kind of like you want what you can't have, and then I realized like wow, like we are so blessed to live the life that we have. We can go to the grocery store anytime and like pick up whatever food we want. Like not everyone has that ability. So, anyways, I kind of went off on a tangent there, but
That's all right.
so yeah, first thing like just kind of looking at their body, kind of see what they want to do. Do they have an athletic background, or like they would want to do something like in fitness, and then encouraging them to try a show, and maybe they may do jump into two different categories and kind of see how the judges place them. And see like did they do better in bikini or did they do better in figure, and then they kind of decide where they want to go from that and decide from there.
hmm we have a question from MKL, and he says, "This is how long did it takes you to work on your flexibility to do gymnastics?"
Massive. Yeah. So I started in at 30 and I'm now 39. But it's been like a constant progress. Like when I was 30, I couldn't even do a handstand. So that was where I was starting from. Like I was starting with literally no gymnastic experience. Um, and now gymnastics is something I really love doing, like as an adult. So I would encourage anybody, like even if you think I don't think it's ever too late. Not with this sport. Like there's women, they're competing in their 40s and 50s in this sport. So I'm learning, today or last time I was at gymnastics, I was learning a back handspring.
Yeah, like I said, there's quite a few ladies. I've interviewed a lady who was in her 60s competing. Lady 56 just who competes in bikini. I think there's a growing number of women who hit the sport in their later life, And I think this sport, like I said, I've been a fan of it for a long time. And from the interviews I've talked with you ladies, I get to gain knowledge, from these
Mm,
actors. Because, like I said, mostly I was really mostly interviewing with women in the divisions I like. Like I really was more a fan of women's bodybuilding. I wasn't too big fan of women's physique. I call it watered down women's bodybuilding, but good number of my interviews were all women with physique. I've interviewed women with figure, women. Like I said, you're my fourth fitness competitor, and even I've interviewed some ladies who are bikini competitors, and I learned different things about each and one of you, how y'all work, how you're trained, your process, and I really understand. Like I said, my crime is I'm a muscle person smell, but from this doing these interviews, reaching out to women like yourself, I gain knowledge, and it
mm,
helps me in my process when I do content, when I talk about you ladies. I do a podcast on Monday. We just did one. We talk about body dysmorphia. That's a big thing that affects bodybuilding. We talk
mm,
about
mm, mm.
judging and stuff like that. We talk about things that
And that's
really.
important because after your first show, when you've never seen yourself shredded before, like I was athletic, but I'd never seen myself shredded before. After that first show, my brain had to comprehend that I can't stay in that shredded state all the time. Like you have to have an on season and an off season. right? Like back when we were hunter and gatherers, the body went through this process, right? Because they would go periods where they weren't eating, and then they would have a big hunt and have lots of food, and then they would be eating. So your body can go through these stages where you have a stage where you're leaner and a stage when you're thicker. But I think both of them are really important. And yeah, I would definitely say the body dysmorphia after doing a first show, you have to learn like, okay, you have to have balance. You can't look like this all the time because then otherwise that's where it gets in your head and you can get obsessed with looking a certain way and then it becomes detrimental, right? Life is about balance. So that's definitely one thing if someone's getting into a bodybuilding show. I had a great first coach because she was also a nutritionist. So she kind of warned me about these things ahead of time. And then coming out of the show, I had her and she was like guiding me on like how to put weight back on and mentally like be okay with it, especially as a woman, right? Like putting the weight back on. But it's not like I wouldn't. It is fun, but it isn't fun because you get to eat a lot. You get to eat more, and you get to enjoy more eating. But there's a part of it where you feel sluggish, you feel tired, like you just feel groggy. You need more naps. Like I just find, when you're putting on weight, I tend to feel like those things sometimes.
I can agree with that because, like I said, I'm a big man here. Sometimes, I can do stuff that is also that really really can really push me. And that's a good thing. I'm doing that. That it helps me burn calories more. You know, and because again, it's a process when you try to lose weight. And you being an athlete, it's a bigger process to diet, to train, to work on the things that you need to work on, especially if you're going to the Olympia. This is a big stage, especially for your career. Here we got here from for our dear friend Ms. Bridget Bouchard. She says, "Can I start gymnastics at 46?"
You
I'm
come
50.
on
I'm not
out.
thinking I would.
You know what?
I'm just.
I saw a video the other day, and I hope I am this woman. She was doing gymnastics, and she's like 85. Like I hope I'm like doing gymnastics at 85. So I mean, like, are you going to be doing stuff at like crazy? Like no, like the stuff that I can do compared to the stuff that Taylor can do, because she's been doing gymnastics her whole life, and she's like 10 years younger. There's a difference there, right? But you definitely can still in your 40s, in your 50s. You could always, your body is incredible and it can learn new things, it can grow, it can gain muscle, it can get more flexible. So my answer is yeah, you can still join gymnastics. You can join it at any age. Fuck it. Like
Not,
do you enjoy life and if
mm,
you want to do it, fucking do
not me.
it.
I'm done. Fuck that. No, no. I got two bad knees like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I have a pacemaker in my chest. I'm good that I'm under 400 pounds, but still I'm not seeing my wobbly. You be seeing I look like a roly poly rolling down the hill or something like that. I mean, nah, man, I couldn't do it. Respect
Yeah.
everybody who can, but not me. This is for a man. Shout out to man. Davey says it would be weird to see Sherry do flips and gymnastics on stage like the fitness ladies. And that's talking about Sherry Piami. I doubt she ever do it. This is also from Matt KL. It says, I'm surprised you didn't do yoga. They have postures that could be gymnastic like. Is that you like flipping you get more
Oh
flexible,
yeah,
but
I've done
it's the show?
yoga. I've definitely done yoga like over my years and hot yoga, moksha yoga. I enjoy a good yoga class. Stretching and flexibility are two different things. So yoga is definitely good for stretching, but increasing flexibility, there's certain techniques like dynamic and PNF, those types of things you can look up because you can stretch and not get flexible, and you can also flexibility is like a separate thing that you actually really have to work on. And when I'm working on my flexibility, my legs are sore the next day, like I did a leg workout, because you're actually lengthening the muscles. And I was just talking about this with my gymnastic coach today because she was saying like I can really tell from when you started to now. Like if you look at your leg muscles, they my legs have become more flexible, and you can see the muscles actually look longer in my legs. So that's something that, yeah, yoga definitely will help with stretching and it can help with flexibility. But for if you really want to get flexible, you really have to focus on it. You have to think of your flexibility as a workout that you do and
Mhm.
prepare to also be sore from that flexibility workout and recover from it.
Hmm. This is from my man KL. He's a clown. He says, "Get a treadmill if you can afford it, or work out stairs." Hell no, I can't do. I told you again. I got two bad knees like Stone Cold Steve, but one of my knees bone on bone. If I get on any kind of stairs, it's gonna kill me. No, I'm not gonna do that unless I get surgery. I'm thinking about doing that.
Yeah.
Also, he
Studies
says,
are showing though that yeah, I'm 39. Studies are
okay.
showing like if you have a choice between an hour of cardio or an hour of weight training is way more beneficial for weight loss. Not only does it burn calories for like cardio will burn calories for like 2 hours, weight training will burn calories for like 48 hours afterwards. Or yeah, so basically 2 days. But it also builds your muscle, it builds your testosterone and muscle mass. 1 pound of muscle mass needs 100 calories, where 1 pound of fat needs 2 calories. So as you're lifting weights and you're putting on muscle mass, you're going to increase your metabolism as well. So if you have a choice, I would always choose weights over cardio. You know, to be the truth, I'm not a big fan of cardio at all. Like if people,
No,
you know what I mean? Like I
nobody
am
really is.
not a person to run. And one time for a show, I was assigned a lot of cardio and I started running a lot and my ass started to flatten out. And I was like, no, this ain't gonna happen. So Stairmaster, like if I'm doing cardio, like I'm doing Stairmaster. Because when you look at marathon runners, right? You see how like they're stick thin and like they really don't have much glutes because the body needs to get rid of that muscle to make them faster. So I don't know, my cardio, I gymnastics is great cardio and dance is great cardio. I like hit training, like 20 minutes more like the sprint type of stuff and like stairs, climbing stairs. I find that is just it builds muscle, but you still get your heart rate up.
Yeah, I know that's good. I was going to the gym a bit, but I have issues. I got like tear here, the shoulder, spares here. I try to do a late weightlifting if I can. I used to love doing when I was in high school. I was, one of the strongest guy on my team. I mean, I used to love to
Nice.
lift the weights. I mean, but like I said, and one thing also is like one thing about sport that people don't understand about, especially your family and friends, what they think of you being in bodybuilding.
They're all like really supportive. You know, I say like at first they like because I think I've just been a dancer and a performer my whole life. You know, like my family and friends are like, yeah, that seems about right. You can find a stage and perform on it. Like she's gonna do it. So yeah, they, I've had friends come with me to shows and be backstage and they're helping me with my bikini glue. They're like taking pictures of me in the hotel room because I have to have like so many pictures to send to my coach for check-in. So and it's been fun, going on those road trips and friends coming and having them backstage. One of my good friends, Autumn, she runs a dance studio here in Cambridge. She has come with me to one of my shows. So having her backstage was phenomenal. She's a dance teacher, and that having her stretch me out. Oh my gosh, I wish I could bring with her with me every time.
Yeah, it's good that you have that because I think some people don't understand. Because I talked to Lisa how sometimes we get to sport, it changes your lifestyle
Right.
because you can't do the thing like everybody else do. You can't go like
Well, and that's the thing. Like I will say, like the people that in my 20s that I would like drink and party with, yeah, I don't hang out with those people anymore. Right. So like you do, in a sense, there will be friends that you drift away from and then there will be other friends that you drift towards too. And that's just, I think that's life, right?
yeah,
It is what
because
it
like
is.
sometimes when you grow and change, if those people can't come along with you, then let them stay
Yeah,
behind where they're at. With anything, as a person, as we evolve, we mature. We don't do the same things that we used to do. We don't like the same things we used to like.
yeah,
It's just about life. If those people are stuck, then you know what? They're still in their childhood. It's time to be an adult. Even though I lived with my mama for most of my life, so but what I say is not my job. I couldn't afford to get my own place. It was too expensive. But anyway, I'd say we're not gonna hold her much too longer because we do appreciate the time she's given us, and
You're
we do
welcome.
wish her all the best
Thank you.
in this upcoming Olympia. I mean, it's a lot of work. I mean, you finally got there. I know you're proud of yourself. I know your people who know you, like your family and friends, are proud of you. And and this is a question I asked some of you ladies: what would you say that you get out of the most of as being a bodybuilder? What's the thing you feel like you get out of bodybuilder, out of overall in your life?
I would say from I love the process, right? I also enjoy learning about body hacking, and bodybuilding is like biohacking your body. You really learn a lot. I like growth. I like challenge. I think that's just what it is. Like I get, um, my time on the stage, and I get to perform, which is something I've always loved since I was a little girl. But then it's not just about being on that stage, like the process that you go through. Like I enjoy doing the gymnastics. I enjoy it's become a lifestyle. Like going to the gym isn't I look at it, it's not something I have to do, it's something I get to do. And I think people need to think about it that way because there are, injuries, there are illnesses where people can't go to the gym. They don't get to go to the gym. Like you got to think of it from like, oh, I don't have to go to the gym. I get to go to the gym, and um, that's just part. I enjoy the process of it all, and it's become a lifestyle. And now that it's become a lifestyle, I don't know. I feel great. So why would I change? And unless it's to biohack and feel greater. I'm always looking to how can I better my body? How can I feel better? How can I be healthier? How can I those are the questions that I'm asking. Like what self-care can I do to get an edge up on my competition? Like a float tank, it's a 10,000 pounds of Epsom salt. You lie in that, oh my gosh, your body feels amazing. You feel like you went on a vacation for a week. Your body just feels like you had a full week where you just lounged in the sun. Like that's how relaxed your body feels, and it helps heal your muscles faster. So I'm really into natural healing and that type of thing. So I think that also just all meshes in with this lifestyle.
Yeah. This is coming from a man, David. He says, I always wonder about parents reacting to their daughter in a tiny bikini on stage. I'm not sure if I would want my own daughter to do that. She's 19. Yeah, I think, yeah. That's the thing is, you don't want your little girl up there wearing high heels. I used to work at a strip club, and that's the thing you got to think about. One of my favorite comedians, Quick Rock, said, last thing Daddy want to see is his daughter
Yeah,
wearing clean heels. That's on the
yeah.
pole, but y'all on the stage, getting looked at and viewed by everybody else. Here we have here, this is from my man Davris Adams. Shout out to Davris, says, good evening, everyone. How's it going? Yeah, how you doing, brother? Also, this is from Bridgetta says she loves entertaining. Keep her as long as you want. Well, hey, baby Bridgetta, you know, I got a life. I gotta, I got things I gotta do. I would love to
I
talk to
know,
you ladies
I
all
know, I do,
day.
I do. I should go to the
Yeah,
gym.
yeah, because first we got life. We can't sit here and talk all day. You need drink, we need water, you need the bathroom. I mean, come on.
I
So
didn't know how long you wanted to go. If it was an hour, hour and a half. I thought you said
well,
90 minutes, but
I go as long as you feel like how the conversation is going. I don't set a time limit, but sometimes you have a good conversation. But then, like I said again, when you have a life, I say, you know what? Maybe it's time for let's wrap it up a little bit and maybe go on about our business. But this is why I do this content because give y'all ladies the opportunity to share your story with people that maybe not understand what it takes. Everybody pay attention to like is this. I always say this: the guys' division, like men's open, is the bottom bitch. Everybody pay attention to that. Everyone's bringing the money. Everybody pays attention to the bikini and wellness because the tits snatch division. You know, I would say fitness, figure, women's bodybuilding, and physique are getting a little stink eye. Shows are dropping off. I mean, so few shows for y'all compared to women's bodybuilding. Because I think it's a tougher division. But this is why I bring people like you on to share your story, to let people know who
Mhm.
may not understand what it takes to be an athlete in organizations like NPC, IFBB, OCB, whatever organization promotes bodybuilding. Because you know what, there's something you need to understand. Here, we got here from a man, shout out to my man David. He says, best wishes at the Olympia.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you,
Really
David.
appreciate it. Thank you.
And it's from man Vinny K says, he says this is let's go top five.
Yeah, yeah. Top five, top
Top five.
five.
Top five. Like top five, like Booker T, like five time. Like my favorite person, Andre Shaw, five time Miss Olympia. She might be 6 time Miss Olympia. So, we do appreciate the time she's given us. And we wish you all the best. If you
Thank
ever
you.
want to come back on, maybe after Olympia, because is there any plans to do any shows before then? You're just gonna squarely focus on the Olympia now.
I'm gonna be laser focused on Olympia. So that's my how I'm setting my sights. I don't plan on doing a show in between.
Hmm. That's one thing. I think I see some competitors who might do like one person who
Yeah.
she
And
does
I
most of
talked
the
to my coach about it because I thought about applying to the Arnold. Um, but that would again, it would involve then like leaning out. Like now I'm going into a building phase. I'm going into putting on muscle and building muscle, and I can do that for the next 7, 8 months, and then I can lean out for 3, 4 months. Whereas if I were to do a show midway, I'd only get a couple months building, then I have to lean out, and then it would be like a little bit of building and then leaning out. I'll get much more because I am about the longevity of the sport. So that's why you'll only ever see me do one max 2 shows a year. Because it is hard on the body. If you're doing 3, 4 shows a year, you're gonna burn out, right? So for my body, for longevity, a max 2 shows a year is what and I decided that a long time ago.
hmm Yeah, I know. I seen some ladies who did like 6 or 7 shows this year, and that was in women's physique, figure, you know, because there's a lot more shows for them. And I don't know how you can do it. I mean, the cost of traveling, everything else, and then try to get ready and conditioning, all that. There's so much work to it. It's not a simple sport.
Um,
But I'll say like this: I respect what y'all do as athletes, and that's again, you are an athlete, you are a woman, you are somebody dedicated to yourself and your sport. And you know what? If you don't understand that, like one of my favorite comedians, Bernie Mac says, "Fuck them."
yeah,
You gotta live for you. You can't live
yeah,
for nobody else.
no,
Because if you don't understand, that's your problem.
yeah.
And I would say, I wish you the best of luck. I
Thank
mean,
you.
you're going in there. You got a lot of ladies who've been there. So, this is your first Olympia. You got your little buddy, little T in your corner, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And I know your family and friends, they are supporting for you. So we'll let you go. We have anybody want to shout out?
I will give a shout out to. I mean, there's so many people that have helped me in my journey along the way, and you know who you are. My friends, my family, my coaches. I, we could really go on, and I could go in depth with this. So I just want to say thank you. You know who you are, and I appreciate it. It's part of the reason why I've made it to where I've made it is also because of the people in my life and how they've supported me, helped me, and who I've been coached by.
That's good. I know they appreciate that. They support you. That's the thing is, it's always good to have people stand in your corner. And the people who are not, well, forget about them. Like there's a
Yeah,
saying I said like this. They can hate so much, but we care so little.
yeah. I don't even look at them. I'm like, I don't have time for that.
You don't have time for that. You don't have time for that. So, folks, we do like to appreciate Jessica for coming on here. If you want to follow her, her links are in the description in this live stream. You can check her out, support her. If you're someone interested in reaching out, sponsorship does help. It is nothing more than just, if you see her in the area, you can pay for her gas if she's getting gas. Or if she's getting coffee, buy some donuts every now and then. Not only when she's on a cheat meal or it's a refeed. Those little things help these competitors out. If you've been a suit sponsor, because you still need a suit, hey, that's good. And you, like I said, guys, I know there's guys out there who are families women because of society don't want to say, hey, because you got women muscles, you gotta be, come say, come say, no. I just like, I still get, I'm a muscle person, small, I like buff chicks. But I respect you as an athlete and as a
Thank you.
woman and what you're doing. this don't. It's again, we say thank you to me. I feel like that. To quote my favorite movie, Batman Begins, at the end when Jim Gordon says to Batman, says, "I never got a chance to thank you," and Batman turns around and says, "You never have to." That's why I do this because
Mm,
to give y'all a voice that people need to share. I
mm.
mean, it's just we wish you best of luck. I want to shout our people who's here. My man David Bryant for Freedom Body Informed. Shout out to David. You know, you might want to do you also. My man KL the Wonder, Davis Adams, Lawrence Perkins, Vinny K, the lovely Mrs. Brigitte Bouchard. Whoever watched this, comment, subscribe, follow us on our social media platforms, support Jessica in her path to the Olympia. Um, if you need to buy the live stream, go to Olympia. You can afford it. I can't afford it. I can't. I would love to go, but I got a car still in the shop, and I need to get it out one of these days if I ever can afford to get it out. But you know what? Support these women. If it's not women's bodybuilding, if it's not physique, fitness, all of them, support them. These ladies put in a lot of time, a lot of work to get to this level,
Mhm.
and they deserve it, just like any other athlete.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, folks,
And thank you
so
very
man,
much, George, for the interview and for reaching out to me. I've had a good time tonight. And yeah, I look forward to speaking with you more, and we will do something post Olympia.
that's great. You, like I said again, you are a welcome guest. Sam, you want to be on here? Shoot the shit. Let us know about your experience. Like I said, this is why I have this channel to give y'all ladies a platform for you to share your story with people who might be want to be interested. So, and also the other guy I like to say like this, he says, if I say Jessica, I can't wait to talk to you again. And I can say, Jessica, if you're good at something, never do it for free.
Right?
I gotta talk to him. I don't know why. But anyway, folks, shout out on our social media platforms. Follow Jessica. Wish her best of luck in the upcoming Olympia. So if you, like I said, if you go there, see her, go to her. Like they have a little table. This is what they tell you when you have a little table. These are some merch, some pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff you can sign, so you can make some little money on the side. That's what because I think I talked to one lady when she first said she went there, she didn't know that she had to do that, but that's what you need to do. Always, because I think Little T will tell you that too, and just
Yeah.
some little stuff that can help you out. So, folks, we appreciate Jessica's time for here. Come on here. Shout out to my guests. Happy Thanksgiving. I know you'll celebrate. You have your own Thanksgiving in Canada, so
Yeah, we already had it.
you already had it. So, and we have ours. And also, as you know, you are a firefighter. I want to say, even though you're not a firefighter in my country, I will say thank you for your service.
Thank you.
All righty. Anyway, folks, I appreciate your time. It's your man, Always George Page, a.k.a. the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Like, don't subscribe. I'm out. Have a good evening, good night, and good luck. And happy Thanksgiving.
Bye.